We should be recording now. So perfect. Awesome. Welcome everybody. We'll get right into it if you guys don't mind. We
Mm-hmm.
can bust this off for real quick. Awesome. So hopefully we all, I'm sure we all did the readings. Good stuff. So just to start the discussion, I just want to talk a little bit about the actual pilot and the success of it. So if we could go one at a time and list the positive results from the pilot program. There's a lot of them, some good things that happened from the program. So if one of us could just start listing some of those positives from there, that'd be great.
I can start.
Awesome.
One of the things that I think is a really good positive for the pilot is that it improves communication skills for both the mentor and the mentees, I think. So that's one great positive, I think.
I agree. That's a
Yeah.
big one.
I think it's also great for networking because usually the mentor is like higher up on the scale in the company,
Hmm.
so they always have someone whom they can turn to. And I think it also said in the text a bunch of them got promotions, probably
Yeah.
because they knew someone who was higher up in the firm.
Yeah, I really liked that about the program. I think it helps the mentees to um, feel more of a sense of having that larger network because they are, I guess, lower on the totem pole. I can imagine you just feel a lot more assurance and worth as you know more people through there. So that's a good print, a great addition as well to the program.
Yeah, the same way like Desi mentioned, I think this program helps to have a better internal communication and feel the members of this project to be included. Uh, and was kind of like a diversity too. They mentioned some diversity in that, which I
Right.
think inclusive diversity is always positive aspect.
I definitely agree. Something that I really liked about it was it. I'm kind of a loyal guy. I'm kind of brand loyal, and I think this program created loyalty for the bank. I think by doing this, even for those people who might have thought about possibly leaving the company, they were able to see that there are actually opportunities for them to grow in the
Yeah.
company, and it provided a sense of unity for both the mentors and the mentees. And that obviously leads, we talked about it in past lessons, how your team's only as strong as the weakest person. By having this program and having this loyalty and unity between the team, I think that it allows for growth for everybody and promotions within the company. So I thought it was a really cool program.
I
Agree.
do too. I agree. Also, they felt valued, by
Definitely.
being part of this program.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Was there anything else that you guys think that might have helped the program to go well, or any examples or characteristics of the program?
Mm.
I think we covered most everything I thought of.
Okay. And do you guys think that like this program and the success that they had from it and some of the things that we talked about, the reasons for the positive results, do you think this is like specific to just this bank or banking, or would it work in other organizations?
I think it would work in other organizations as well. I think it even works in like completely different fields because I sometimes have like a teacher mentor for a special project that I have to accomplish. Like a teacher offers me that I can turn to him if I have a question. So I think it works in a lot of different fields, and that it's kind of always helpful to have someone to turn to. someone who's more experienced. I think that's a good thing across a lot of different domains.
Definitely. I agree completely. I think that you could take a lot of the foundations of this pilot program and implement in anything. I agree with you, Rebecca. I know that for the first class, I think it's B100, you have to find some mentors. I didn't really take it seriously when I took the class as a freshman, but as I progressed and went more through school, I've looked for mentors, and I think that kind of like you said, if whether it's a teacher for a large project or another way, having a mentor is a huge asset in helping us to progress and achieve the results that we want.
I agree too, because I think that in any organization, you know, I work at a hospital, I think it'd be great to have a program where you can mentor with, you know, other people and learn different areas and of the organization, not just where you work and the field you work in, because there's so much more to any organization. And to have the ability and opportunity to do that would, I think, would benefit any company.
Yeah, definitely. I think no matter what field you are, sometimes, somehow, we need any type of guidance when we are less experienced, um, or sometimes we need a support when we are down a little bit, or
Mm-hmm.
when we don't know exact. We have different challenge and situations that approach to us at some point, and I found that in my job, one of my coworkers, she's very open-minded, and not knowing this, uh, I just jokingly said, "You are my mentor." And she
Mm-hmm.
just laughed and said, "Yeah, sure, anytime," because she's very wise and she has more experience than me. So I always look up her as my guidance. So yeah, mentoring is key, I think.
Kind of building off what you said, Carmen, how do you guys think mentoring can help employees with career development?
Sometimes, again, mentoring, I think, is kind of like open the path and help you actually to find yourself. What are you looking for? Because sometimes, to me, at the beginning, I wasn't sure what I want in life, and that was happened for years. And I'm like, really, I'm a grown already, and I don't know really what I want. I like everything, but I'm not defined what exactly. So I think having a mentor or a mentoring program provide you that path, or put you in the right path at least. Have any uh, way to start, because sometimes you are just lost in a bubbling and just keep going around and around, and you're not going anywhere. But when you have that guidance, that guidelines, you can say, okay, I want to start from here, and from here I'm going keep moving forward.
I also agree with you that that's a very good point, and it's a way to broaden, you know, your horizons or per se. But how some of the testimonies they said that they didn't think they were going anywhere within the organization, but they didn't realize there was more stuff, and maybe you're not in the right position, but you can still grow and mentor with those and learn, you know, and use your creative side, and you know that can be part of where you are and where you want to like your professional development that comes along with, well, hey, maybe I'm not in the right position, but I can still grow and, you know, use my talents in this area or in this field, but within the organization. And you don't know those things if you don't have somebody to help mentor you and help bring those out in you, I guess.
Also, I think is not only beneficial for the employee, but for
Yeah.
the employer, because having these kind of mentors for advices help you to have less mistakes, so that will cut any loss for the employer. It will provide a better environment at work. So I think it's a win-win situation for the
Mhm.
employee and for the employer.
Yeah, I agree. I also think that it's important that both of them entered into it voluntarily, and so that the mentee really knows they have always someone to talk to and they don't feel like a burden because the mentor has offered the help. So they might feel less reluctant to ask for help if they have any issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was, this is going back a little bit, but I think that was one of the reasons for the success of the pilot as well. Just how it was voluntary and you didn't feel like it was a burden, because that definitely affects a mentor and a mentee if there's kind of if you both feel like it's something that's forced, you're definitely not going to be want to stick out. But building off what you guys said, I think that kind of the biggest point that I took away from it was that because you are receiving a mentor and you are creating a bigger network, you are able to understand that there are opportunities for growth that kind of like what you said, Desi, that you might not understand or even know of before without a mentor. And I think that's one of the biggest benefits within this case of that, because you saw so much, a large number of mentees being promoted. So has anyone had a personal experience with mentoring or being a mentee, whether it was a formal thing that was set up, it was informal, or kind of like you said, Carmen, you just told someone that they were going to be your mentor? Does anyone have any specific experiences or examples with that?
Well, when I started this job in Chick-fil-A, I didn't know really how was the culture, how was the system in that, because it's a very unique place.
Sure.
So again, I found this lady, and immediately I bond with her, and I was so genuine and sincere, and I told her that I need help. I don't understand some. Uh, in other words, sometimes the managers, they said something, but their actions doesn't match with their speech, and I think it's in every place or every level. So maybe at the beginning I was kind of like maybe it's because what we learn in church, that we need to be, or in the temple, we are striving every day to be as most honest and do our best. So I was in a little personal conflict that I don't understand, and why people is like that. And so she actually helped me to have a better understanding, and maybe not focus, watch my priorities. And that
Sure.
was something that I couldn't see it by myself until she started breaking down. So that was a tremendous help for me uh, at the beginning of my career in this company. Um, and I saw in uh, my own life that was easy. My time as a working in there, following her advices, helped me to go through my day. Definitely understanding, and she helped me to be more observative. She's more detailed. Me, probably I'm more see overall, but she helped me to think. And it's amazing. Sometimes, two brains thinks better than just one, or four eyes see better than just two eyes. So I really appreciate her help. And until now, sometimes I have some disagreements. And before I said something, I always go to her first. And I said, Lindsay, what you will do in this situation? And always she just give me the key word. And after that, I can go on. So, yeah, That is my experience.
That's great. Thank you. Does anyone else have any experiences?
I do. In my job now, I work in a pathology lab, and I guess I'd be a very informal mentor, but our pathologist, one of them that we work with every day, he's so willing to teach and, to show and to be specific with specimens, and, never hesitates at any moment to not teach you, even though we're not doctors, and we're not, we work in the lab with him, but he's always there to use any kind of moment he can to teach, and I don't even think he realizes it, but he's very willing to do it, and it's nice because you learn different parts of the lab that aren't necessarily your job, and you actually get to see them work and do their job. So it's an informal mentoring, but I think it's anytime you have those opportunities to learn more and learn other people's jobs, it's a great thing because it broadens your ability and, to advance into different positions if you need to and step up and take on other roles, and they see that. So that's mine.
Good. Yeah.
That's great. Has anyone ever had any? We've kind of heard some benefits from mentorship. Has anyone ever had any obstacles or I guess negatives to or downsides in a mentorship?
Personally, so far, no. I had good results because this mentoring situation helped me a lot to dealing with frustration. Sometimes I'm so easy to get frustrated and don't express it. Just keep it to
Right.
me, to myself, and I think that is the worst part, especially when you're at work and people just look at you. Maybe you are just withdrawn or you are just quiet, or so they want to know, especially when you are not like that. So for me, Lindsay helping me with giving me a constructive criticism, helping me to handle disappointment sometimes, and dealing with frustration, it has been a tremendous help for myself at a personal level.
That's great. So I actually have an example of a negative and a kind of a bad mentorship example. I've done door-to-door sales for 2 years, and my first year I was given, I guess, a mentor. It's just someone who I was sent out to shadow and kind of watch to try to figure out exactly what I needed to do, and he ended up being a bad mentor. It was very informal. I was just kind of paired off with him by my manager to shadow, but he ended up being a little bit shady in his sales techniques, and it really kind of gave me a negative experience at the beginning of a job, which I thought was very dangerous. I ended up actually enjoying it and not following his shady techniques. But I think that's something in a program to think about, especially in a large company, about who your mentors are going to be, if it's a formal or even an informal thing, who you want training, because there definitely are dangers and possibilities of a bad mentor, and that can lead to a slippery slope, in my opinion. So.
I have something to add. I think with that too is personality conflicts,
Sure.
can be that negative thing in mentoring. And if you looked at some of the stats in the back, you see that there's only usually like one or something. I was like, oh, that's probably because they didn't click,
Yep.
and that was my thought when I seen that.
Definitely could be one. If
Yeah.
I've seen that, at least not in the business world, but at least like companionships on the mission. Like you have one personality and another personality, and can definitely lead to some clashing, and I think that could be a big reason and big danger in mentorships as well.
Yeah, I
Thanks
like
for
in the
pointing that
pilot.
out.
Sorry. I like in the
No,
pilot
go
though
ahead.
that they did take into account personalities. After they did all, set these up, they're like, oh, now we need to know, how they are and their personalities because they did look into that, which was a good thing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Ri- Yeah, I think it's interesting how um, I guess there's a matching process. I
Mhm.
think that would be something that's difficult to do, but I think it's important, like you said, to actually look at the personalities and who someone is, likes, dislikes, when considering that. Uh,
Yeah.
so as far as analyzing the program, do you guys think a less formal mentoring program would be better, where a mentee is able to find whatever mentors they need to help them progress in their careers rather than being assigned to someone? Or do you like the program they have set up now?
I like the program the way they have it set up because I think anybody can go out informally and find a mentor, somebody they click with. So I think it's good to have programs, mentoring programs that are available if you want to. I think it's an option and it's like this one is all voluntary. So I think that it's good to have those formal mentoring programs versus informal because anybody can go out and do it, but it's good to have the option to have that.
And I think it's better when you volunteer. I mean, when it's
Hmm.
nothing imposed. You volunteer to mentor someone, or you volunteer to be a mentee from someone. So yeah, and definitely I found more reasons that benefit, versus any detrimental situation.
Yeah, I agree, and I also think that if they are paired with someone that they probably wouldn't consider in normal life, to give them a lot of opportunities to learn and to grow and to get to know people they wouldn't usually associate with. And I think it's kind of like visiting teaching. Sometimes you get paired up with someone that you don't click at first, but it's also a learning opportunity to learn how to get along with someone and how to get to know somebody who might not seem um, to who might not seem like a best friend immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. So, what do you guys think were some ways that the Federal Reserve Bank program could have improved the pilot and the program?
Mm.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I don't know because I think they did well. I think the second year they wanted to add more, but I think they realized that number, around 25 was a good number. Keep it kind of small, but yet that's still a lot. But um, I don't know. I think they did really well with it.
Yeah, to me it was good. I don't see.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is an interesting question to have here and to ask the group. I was thinking the same thing when I was going through these. I couldn't really think of exact ways to improve the program, but let's move forward because I think that was a bad question to put right there, especially when we'll just move on to the next question. Why do you think less people signed up for that second round?
Hmm.
I think maybe people were hesitant. They didn't, or I don't. They didn't really say if the people from before got picked for this round because there could have been hard feelings,
Right.
and that I didn't get picked the first time, so why would I want to do it now, and just kind of that discouragement. I don't know, because then they go out and tell their, you know, friends or whoever, and it just, I don't know.
Yeah.
But they
I
they
think,
did get a good number, I still
yeah.
think.
I think it's very important when you find your mentor, if you have a good bonding and you feel that is a good trusting, it's something that encourage by itself, that situation itself encourage to keep doing it. But if it's in the opposite way, make you actually to be a little away from that, because you ask yourself, what is the purpose? I mean, he or she has not helping me, or was a bad influence, or gave me a bad, you got a bad experience. So sometimes make you hesitate, like Desi mentioned before, from that. And sometimes you think, hey, I'm better by myself. I mean, I can go
Mhm.
to my bishop, my visiting teacher, you know, in our case, of course. Um, and we can rely on other people that we really trust. So it's very important to your first experience on who you choose as a mentor, I think.
Yeah. And maybe they didn't advertise very well because they said they cut back on advertising and maybe people just didn't know.
That could
Right.
be too.
I think it could be a number of things. I don't think they need to look heavily into why there was a decrease because, like you said, they still do have a good number. It
Hmm.
could have been through advertising or just busy on projects. I think it could be a number of things. Um, so what do you think as a group they should do with the mentoring program moving forward? Should they look to expand and try to get more people to mentor and mentee, or should they keep it kind of a smaller group, more close knit, kind of like where they are now?
I think they should to maybe advertise more through good results, showing good results of this program. So that will help others that probably have shy character, or they are not too interactive, because has to do a lot with your personality. There are people that they are very
Hmm.
private and they have problems to communicate. They have problems to vent your private, situations. So maybe if they advertise or create ways to show results, positive results, maybe that can help.
Hmm. I agree with you. Over time, I think that they'll have that such positive feedback over and over, um, that other people will want to. And I don't think they should grow it to be, to keep expanding it each year. I think they need to keep it fairly small. Even 30 people, is decent. But I guess it depends on how big the company is. If the company keeps growing, then I guess you can grow your mentoring program as it grows, but I don't think it needs to be cover, the entire company. I think it'd be nice to have an opportunity, and maybe somebody's not ready right now, and in a year's time they might be. So,
Yeah, I agree. I think it's nice to have a small program. This way, also the people leading the program can be very involved and take care of each couple of mentor and mentees. And I think something that they should implement though is to have strict or clear guidelines for the supervisors. Because I think in the text it mentioned that one of the supervisors didn't quite want to let the employee go to their mentoring session. So I think if they would set up some guidelines for all the supervisors across the whole company so that everyone knows what's expected of them, I think that could be helpful for the future.
I agree. I think that transitions perfectly. I know we've touched on it a little bit with some of the things we've talked about as far as what you just said and also what Desi said about advertising. But what are some ways that the Federal Reserve Bank program could get more people to be involved without forcing them?
I think it needs to be just something that everybody knows they can, and they really encourage it because they can show all the successes and how they benefit and that people have been promoted, and and showing that the people will want to be involved, but preparing them and getting them ready because like I said, they may not be ready now, but they could be in another time, so I think they just need to constantly encourage it, but not force them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you.
I agree. I think that as well as advertising and showing the results are
Hmm.
going to be some of the biggest ways to make that happen. What are some ways that not just the Federal Reserve Bank program, but any company, if they were to implement this, how could they encourage people who really need mentoring to get mentoring, to be a mentee?
I feel like I'm talking over everybody, but I just have a lot to say.
You're
I
good.
think that they can almost informally mentor them, and mentor them into the program to, without them even realizing it. I think, if those people who realize that they need this, that they can actually informally mentor them and encourage them into joining this program, but kind of take them under their wings and bring them along, because I think when people aren't ready or feeling ready, it's because of that self-confidence, and they don't know where they're at within the company, and they're new usually, so
Hmm.
like they said, they look for those people who have been there for a while, and when they see that in them, I think they should start mentoring them outside of the program first.
You're right. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's dead on. Beautiful. So if you can do that informally, kind of what you said, how do you then get enough people to mentor? How do you create mentors?
I think maybe teaching people that everybody can mentor and that they will help them gain the necessary skills, but that everyone has something to teach somebody else. Everybody has something to share.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Good
I
job.
think if both mentor and mentee are have a positive experience from the program, I think it leads to not only growth within the company, possibly by the mentees being promoted, but the mentors see the value of the program and the additional education that they're receiving, as well as what the mentee receiving, and I think it allows growth and unity within um, the program.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that was the last question on the thing. So,
Yay.
um, unless anyone has any other pros or cons to the program, then we should be good to go.
I think it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just can add that again, just to wrap it up a little bit, that mentoring is a key way to succeed or go down. So we need to be careful to identify um, who's a good mentor and who's not. Sometimes our lack of experience or different situations, we are more vulnerable in certain seasons than in others, can maybe make us follow the wrong. I'm not saying always, but the wrong person or the wrong role model.
Hmm.
So, but for sure, mentoring is very useful and inspiring, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you
I
said that
agree.
perfectly.
What was that? Could you say that again? I couldn't hear you.
Oh no, I just think that Carmen said that perfectly. It was like
Oh. I agree. That's a good way to tie everything together.
Yes.
Thanks.
Well, perfect. Well, I think we don't have to turn in any other assignments this week, as far as our group, so we should be good to go. Who wants to be group leader next week?
I will.
Okay,
All
great.
right. So I think so far works the same time in the same channel in the
Mhm.
same day.
Yeah.
Yep.
All
If
right.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And
Yep.
Brett, again, you are my technology guy. I
Yeah.
wish I can help you, but I can't. I mean, without you, I
Yeah.
rely on you.
I struggled today. I had to use my wife's email, but we got it going. We're good to go.
All right. So we will be in touch or posting. I mean, but definitely I will with your help.
Okay,
All
perfect. We'll
right.
be good. We'll be
Okay.
good.
All right.
Thank
Awesome.
you guys.
Thanks. Have a good week.
Thank
You
you too.
too.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.